You're tuned in to the Burrage Sports Show.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Burrage Sports Show. I'm your host, the dad, Mike Burrage, and I'm here with
Mike Burr.
Mike Burr, my son. He always delivers. We got the music still rocking because we have to talk about the bag. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
That bag.
Patrick Mahomes, $501 million. $500 million. That's with incentives for playing football. 10 years, $500 million. We have to talk about that. This is revolutionary.
Yeah.
It's changing sports. Mike Burr, give us some insight what you think right out the gate.
Man, so if I'm not mistaken, this is the biggest sports contract ever, worth over $500 million. And that may not even be the full amount considering incentives and other things. And of course, he's going to have endorsements. But a 10-year deal, they're going to have him until he's 34. He's 24 right now. So just a huge move by the Chiefs, extending him before his contract is up. And just not playing any games, just putting the bag on the table and paying him what he's worth.
I totally agree. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is an exceptional talent. He's like a Michael Jordan of football, at least from what we've seen so far. He's already won a Super Bowl, and he does it in such, how can I say it, an exciting and dramatic flair. And I like what the Chiefs did. The Chiefs said, you know what, we're not going to mess around. We're not going to dilly-dally. We're not going to pretend. Look, if you want to be here, we're going to put our money where our mouth is. We're going to make you a part of the Chiefs Nation for the next 10 years. So basically, he's their franchise quarterback for the long-term foreseeable future. And I think it was a smart move because he's as exciting a football player as we've ever seen. And he's already showed that he can show up in the big game by being a Super Bowl champion. But with that being said, when a guy makes $500 million over 10 years, how many Super Bowls does Patrick Mahomes have to win to justify that type of money and that type of contract?
Well, he already has one. He already has won a Super Bowl MVP. We saw what he did last year, really making huge plays and really turning that game to make sure they won. And so in 10 years, how many Super Bowls? That's a good question. You got to think, Tom Brady just left the AFC, and he's going to be on his way out. I know some people think he's going to play forever, but it has to end at some point during this 10-year deal. So I think you have a void there where Mahomes could really step right in. And with this Chiefs offense, how young they are and talented, if they keep the whole squad together, I could see them winning 6 or 7 rings.
Wow. Whoa.
On a high end, and then, I mean, even if you win 2 or 3 Super Bowls within 10 years, that's still a success. Most teams won't win 1. So even as long as he wins more than 1, I would say it's a success. But I think the expectation and what they want to do is be a dynasty like the Patriots and win 5, 6, 7 Super Bowls in that time.
I agree. And I think right now they have enough talent to do it. So they're going for it. And I like the fact that they say, hey, we're going to bet the farm on Patrick Mahomes. And some players you should bet the farm on.
Yeah.
He's a special talent. And I do think they should, to live up to that contract, it should be somewhere between no lower than 4 Super Bowls to 6. You know, then I think that's worth the $500 million, the $500 million. I mean, he's worth it anyway because he's a really great talent, seems to be a really good dude. So I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying with high expectations, with that type of money, they're going to expect to see a return on their investment. And I think 4 to 6 is the way you get that return on your investment.
I'll tell you something right now. I feel like if you told Jerry Jones he could give $500 million over 10 years to get 1 or 2 Super Bowls, I think he might take that deal. I feel like
Jerry Jones of the Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, the Dallas Cowboys,
okay.
who's going with has a contract situation with Dak right now, and we'll talk about that in a minute, how this deal affects that one. But I think a lot of owners would want, well, the ones that want to win, they would sacrifice that type of investment if they really think they can win multiple Super Bowls. And when you watch Patrick Mahomes, like you said, he's just different. It's certain players, the LeBrons, the Jordans, the Tom Brady's, the Drew Breeses, where you watch them and they just on a different level than the players at that position. And I like what the Chiefs did, because the NFL has been known for being stingy. They've been known when it's time to pay guys, or we'll franchise tag them, or he has to sit out training camp and then we'll work out the deal. I like how they didn't go through any of the drama.
Yes.
They just went ahead while he still has years on his contract, because you're going to have to pay eventually. So just like, why not just pay now? And now we have him secure for 10 seasons. We don't have to worry about another free agency for 10 years. So I think that's a smart way to do it. Now that you got your quarterback in place, you can focus on everything but quarterback. You got Andy Reid. He's going to be the coach for the future. Now you can start to pay your other guys on the team, the Hills and the Kelseys. You could sort out their contract and make sure you have a strong enough defense. But with that offense, you're always going to put up points.
I agree, but let me ask you this. How does this impact Dak now? Dak just saw him get the bag. It can be up to $50 million a year. So now is Dak saying, see, Jerry Jones, you wanted to franchise tag me with $31 million. I'm worth $40 million, $45 million. Patrick Mahomes just got $50 million a year. So is Dak going to get a bigger bag now because of Patrick Mahomes?
With the Patrick Mahomes deal, I don't see Dak playing this season without a new contract. I think Jerry waited way too long. You should have extended him while he was still on the deal.
Okay.
You should have got it out the way. But going into the season playing on the franchise tag, I just don't see it happening anymore. With the leverage he already has, if I'm Dak, I'm walking to the table, I'm saying, hey, you either pay me now, make me the highest paid or one of the highest paid. I don't think he'll get Mahomes money, but he's probably going to get $200-300 million.
But what's his number, though? I mean, now that Patrick Mahomes got 10 for 500, what's Dak's number? Is his number now $40 million a year?
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those deals that is going to change a lot. He kind of reset the market when you think about it. Because now, what do you pay Dak? I think that's why Jerry, by dragging this out, he's only making it worse for himself. It seems like the price just keeps going up over time. I don't know. I could easily see Dak, just due to the market, making $40 million a year. I could.
Okay, do me a favor, Mike. Pull up your iPad. Let's get a list of the top 10 paid quarterbacks. We know now Mahomes is number one at the $50 million a year.
Yep.
But let's get a list of other names, and let's rattle off, maybe the top 10 guys. Then we could kind of weigh it and see where we think Dak should be, because Patrick Mahomes is at 50, between 48 to 50. So we know that's the gold star. Let's get the guys under that, and then let's see if Dak should be higher than those guys, or should he come somewhere in the middle. Let me know when you get that.
All right, so here we have the top 10 highest paid quarterbacks just updated today. Number one, you got Patrick Mahomes. They got him listed at $45 million a year. We know some added incentives to his deal as well. That's what pushes it over that $50 million a year.
Okay, as you read it, keep going. As you read it, I'll ask you, should Dak get more or less? We're gonna do it like The Price is Right or one of those games.
Yeah, I like that.
So, okay, Mahomes $45 million. Should Dak get more or less?
Definitely less.
Okay.
I think Mahomes is the best quarterback if we're talking about pure talent in the league, and he has the most upside by far. So he deserves to be the highest paid, in my opinion.
All right, let's go to number two. Who's number two?
Number two, we got Russell Wilson at $35 million a year with the Seahawks.
Okay, should Dak get more or less than Russell Wilson?
No. I would say Russell deserves more. He's proven. He's won a Super Bowl. Went to another one, so that's a conference championship under his belt as well. And he's done it for longer. So I would say Russell would be more.
Okay, let's go to who's number 3.
Ben Roethlisberger,
How much?
$34 million a year.
Okay, we know Ben has 2 chips, but he's old. But should Dak get a deal bigger than $34 million a year?
I think it's gonna be right around here, if I'm being honest. And I can see it even being more just because of the market and just because of the deal Mahomes signed. So I'm gonna say probably even or a little more.
Okay, so if he gets a little more, that means that he'll be right where Russell Wilson is.
Yeah.
Or he'll be the third or possibly the second highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Is that the right number for Dak Prescott?
Well, I think in order to answer that, you have to look at the rest of the list. Going to number 4, you have Jared Goff making $33.5 million a year.
Okay, Jared Goff has led the Rams to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
So, let's talk about the first people you named. Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl champ. Russell Wilson, Super Bowl champ. Ben Roethlisberger, 2-time Super Bowl champ. Now you talk about Jared Goff. He led the team to a Super Bowl.
Yep.
Who's next?
You got Aaron Rodgers tied with Jared Goff at 33.5.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers, Super Bowl champ. So you're telling me Dak should be over those guys, and I don't even think he's ever made it to the NFC Championship game so far.
Very true. But the spot right after that, and the reason why Dak has a strong case, Kirk Cousins is making $33 million a year. I feel like, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, but Dak has probably accomplished more in 4 years than Kirk Cousins has in terms of winning and results in the playoff.
Yeah.
Has Kirk Cousins even won a playoff game yet?
Yeah, I think he won a playoff game last year, maybe even 2.
Maybe 1 or 2 last year. But so if you got Kirk Cousins, I think those are some of the people Dak is gonna bring up in his meeting. Like, in 4 years I've already done this, so by the you gotta pay me.
Now with that, I think that's where Dak's bar is. He definitely should get a little more bread than Kirk Cousins. I'm not trying to hate on you, Kirk Cousins, but if I had to pick between the two, Dak is younger. He's been very durable. Kirk Cousins got the bag, and he didn't really accomplish a whole lot, especially in Washington. He got paid, but they weren't really winning. Minnesota, he's won some playoff games. He's had some great moments. But I do think he should get more than Kirk Cousins. So when you do talk about that list, now I think he does have a legitimate gripe of getting more than Kirk Cousins, $33 million.
And then right in the same division, you got Carson Wentz making $32 million. Right under Kirk Cousins, and I think Dak would definitely want to be the highest paid QB in his division at least. So
and I agree with that because once again, that's another player who didn't win a Super Bowl. In fact, St. Nick, who's now a Chicago Bear, was the Super Bowl hero for the Philadelphia Eagles a few years ago. So I think Dak has a good case when you talk about Cousins and a little bit above that. The other guys on that list have accomplished more, but Dak is younger. So we'll see. So let's make a prediction. Because now we know Patrick Mahomes is at the top with $45 million. And maybe by the time this podcast comes out, a number is out there. But let's make a prediction. If you were a gambling man, what's going to be Dak per year number if he decides to come off of the franchise tag, which right now is like 31.7? I would say he has to get at least $36 million a year. That's the number I'm going to say.
yeah, I could definitely see that. That would make him the second highest in the league, right under Patrick Mahomes. And I think it's gonna have to be that because you have to think it's not a matter of just this player is better, they get paid more. That's not how it works. It matters when you're signed. Those other guys signed their deals a couple years ago. Inflation, the salary cap going up. So now Dak would get more because and then you look at the free agent market, he's the best available. So assuming he doesn't play on the tag, I'm gonna say $40 million.
40 mil?
$40 million a year. With I think Patrick Mahomes just changed the league with his mega contract, and I think Dak is saying, "Hey, why? I deserve something similar," and who's gonna argue with him?
Well, yeah, hey man, it's business, as they say.
Yeah.
Business, nothing personal. So I could see that. I could see him asking for 40, and probably the lowest I would go is 36. But hey, it doesn't hurt to ask. But let me ask you this: how do you think life changed? Where one day you wake up and you sign a deal and you're half of a billionaire? How do you think life has changed for Patrick Mahomes? I'm just throwing that out there. Like,
it sounds like a good day to me.
But what do you do different? Do you go out and buy a mansion? Do you go buy a yacht? Like, what do you do? One day you're making $1 million or so. The next day you're worth $500 million. What would you do, Mike Burke? Give me a little thing. What would you do when you got that type of bag?
I don't even know. I feel like just look at it for a while, like just like, wow, I made it. I don't know what. I don't even know. I'm sure once you get to that level, you have more options of what you would be able to buy. But I can't even really conceptualize that right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's got to be crazy. I mean, this is just astonishing news, and it's wonderful to hear. During COVID and a lot of things we've been going through, even though I didn't get the money, I'm just happy to hear that he got the money because he earned it. He's an exciting player. I'm happy he's going to be with the Chiefs for the next 10 years.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing the Chiefs. I'm a Bears fan, but I'm even looking forward to seeing the Chiefs. Shout out to all the Chief Nation out there, Chief Kingdom. They have great fans. So this is going to be a lot of fun. But I still it's just tripping me out, man, that somebody signed for $500 million. And again, we're not even talking about endorsements.
Yep.
We're not talking about even him investing and things like that. He can be a billionaire probably within a year or two, just leveraging that contract.
While he's still in the league. That's crazy.
Why he's still in the league, man.
And I want to highlight and shout out the Chiefs organization.
Yeah.
The way they've been running things. And Andy Reid, he's always been a good guy, and he wasn't able to get over that hump for a long time and win a Super Bowl.
Right.
But, his players had nothing but positive things to say about him. He was always a good guy. So it's good to see a good guy finally win that Super Bowl, and now he's in a position. He has his quarterback locked in for 10 years, and so he can win a lot more. And I want to shout out to the Chiefs organization just for doing things the right way. You have a special generational talent. Just go ahead, pay him what he's worth. Get it out the way. Don't make him hold out. Don't franchise him. Don't try to, play different games that we've seen a lot of the franchises do with players that, give their blood, sweat, and tears out there every game. And then when it's time to get paid, they make them fight for it. So I want to shout out the Chiefs for just going ahead and just, extending him while he's still in his deal. That's the way to do it.
All right. And but you know what? We got two more really good ballers, and what's their price gonna be? Because now you have Deshaun Watson and you have Jackson of Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, and we know how exciting they are. They haven't won a Super Bowl, but they've made the playoffs. They're two of the funnest players to watch. They're very unique at their position. What do you think they're looking at in terms of contract? Are they going to try to get $50 million next year?
Yeah, like I said, I think Mahomes just changed the game. I think this is a historic. It's definitely a historic deal, and it's going to make all players approach negotiation differently. I could easily see Lamar Jackson making 45, 50 a year when it's his time. I could see Deshaun, but the question with Deshaun, does he want to stay with the Texans for 10 years? Does he want to? He's had some issues with the franchise. They traded his star receiver for David Johnson, who hasn't been producing at the level DeAndre Hopkins has. DeAndre Hopkins is arguably the best receiver in the league, and you just trade him. So and he's had some issues with the coach, and they haven't been the best run franchise. So Deshaun's a little different because I don't know if he loves playing for that organization. He might want to, test his see how much he can get for another team.
Yeah. And I'm throwing this out. This might be a little random, but as a Bear fan, we had an opportunity to draft Deshaun Watson or Patrick Mahomes. I'm not hating on Mitch Trubisky, Maserati Mitch. He's our guy for the future. But we moved up in the draft, moved up to get the second position to pick up Mitch Trubisky. So I want to talk about that. What does this mean now to Mitch Trubisky? Because he's the first quarterback gone in that class. Before Deshaun, before Patrick. Now, you've seen the maturation process of Patrick Mahomes, of Deshaun Watson. What does that mean to Maserati Mitch of the Chicago Bears?
I don't know what it means for Mitch. He's still battling for a starting spot, whereas the other two guys, Mahomes and Watson, have established themselves as stars in the league, even though they were drafted after him. So I don't know if the Bears actually, instead of extending Mitch, they declined his option for next year. So he's on a kind of prove it season. He's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. He basically has to show that he can stay with the team long term.
But you moved up to make him the number 2 pick in the draft, and now he's in his third season? And you're saying he's got to prove himself to just stay with your franchise or to even be the starter?
That's what the Bears are telling us through how they've been handling the situation. You bring in a Super Bowl MVP. Then you decline his option for next year. So that's what the Bears brass have been telling us, that they maybe regret the decision. I mean, if you're looking at Mahomes, it's clear to see, dang, we probably should have drafted that guy. So that's what it's looking like, and hopefully, a lot of players get off to slow starts. So, and we've definitely seen him be great in moments.
Yes,
he's had some really good moments. He's a guy that can do it all. He can make plays with his legs. He has his arm. He can't. The deep ball and throwing to his left are the really big flaws. He misses a lot of open guys, and that's really been holding him back because it just kills the momentum of the offense when they have a good drive going. He overthrows somebody. It could have been a touchdown. How many times have we seen that? So he has to prove it. And when Nick Foles in the locker room, he has to earn his keep, and show he can stick around this league.
All right. Makes a lot of sense. So that's our NFL talk. We just had to talk about Patrick Mahomes. That's the talk of the NFL. April has some updates about the NBA. April, hit us up.
Well, today we know that the NBA players made their way down to Orlando, Florida to enter into the bubble. Some more quick updates about the Brooklyn Nets, since pretty much their whole team is decided to opt out for the season.
Dang.
So Jamal Crawford has signed with the Brooklyn Nets.
Whoa. Old school Jamal Crawford?
Yeah.
Okay.
Jay Crossover.
Jay Crossover, baby.
And according to the Bleacher Report, Michael Beasley is in contract talks with the Brooklyn Nets as well.
Okay.
Ooh.
So they're just trying to patch a team together so they have somebody that could play for the postseason and play, in this shortened playoff run in the bubble.
Yeah, that's gonna be exciting. The Nets are gonna be one of the most exciting teams because they're gonna be kind of just thrown together. And Jamal Crawford is always exciting to watch. Michael Beasley's an interesting player, so they're gonna make the East just interesting. And who knows? They may go on a run. Like they're getting some talented guys, so I can see them surprising or catching somebody sleeping.
Yeah, that would be crazy. But let me ask you this, guys. Whoever wins the championship this year, I heard Shaq say they're going to have an asterisk because of the way the season ended. and now they're going into the bubble, and they're going to have to, modify some things, you know. Do you think it's going to be an asterisk, or are they just a bona fide champion?
I mean, it's an asterisk. It's a historical moment, but you're still the champion, But and the reason is it's a global pandemic. It's not like it's in the players' control. The whole world literally shut down for some months. So
yeah, good point.
It is what it is. They adapted, move on, and it's gonna be one of those moments where you look back and watch the documentary of it, like, oh, that was a crazy season, but they're still gonna have the ring, still gonna get the trophies, and we saw enough of the regular season and the playoffs that they're still the champion.
But let me ask you this: so if a team wins it, so let's say LA wins it, whether it's the Clippers or the Lakers, or you never know, might be the Denver Nuggets, or it could be the Milwaukee Bucks. Shout out to the Milwaukee Bucks. They were looking good. Could be Philadelphia 76ers. Could be Boston. I mean, there were some strong teams. I don't think it was one clear-cut favorite this year. After the team wins the championship, usually there's ticker tape parades, and they meeting downtown, and they're partying for a whole week. Are they going to be able to have that?
I mean, the way it's looking now, not at all. I mean, I can't see a parade happening. Maybe like some virtual stuff. I'm sure they're gonna adapt. What do you think?
I think you got to do like a virtual ticker tape parade, or people just have little sections, where they have their own celebration with some good social distancing. Wear your mask, guys. I don't know if it's going to be the traditional driving through downtown. The whole city comes out. Everybody, really just being very festive, enjoying themselves. I don't know if it'll be like that, whoever wins the championship this year. But I'm optimistic. We might have a vaccine by then. We might have a cure by then. And if that happens, which would be great, that's the miracle everybody's praying for, then let's have a parade, let's have a party, let's have a good time. Well, that's it. If you like this show, give us some comments, subscribe, hit the like button, share it with a friend. We're really trying to grow this podcast. We're having a great time. This was a really good podcast. You got anything else, April?
That's it.
Mike Burr?
That's it.
Well, we talked about Patrick Mahomes. We talked about the bag.
Cut the check.
Cut the check. And as always, Mike Burr, drop the beat.